Hey everybody, welcome to more. This is week number 4 in our Christmas series, Big Screen Christmas. And it's been a lot of fun moving it from summer to Christmas and looking at Christmas movies, some of the things that we look forward to and enjoy about Christmas. All of our locations have had wonderful decorations, fun games, and really just incredible times of gathering over the last few weeks. And this past Sunday, we celebrated Christmas, and Christmas has now come and gone for another year. I say all that because if you were like me growing up, it seemed like Christmas took forever to get here. Even as we moved past summer and would make our way into fall, it would seem like Christmas was a million miles away. And as we really got close to Christmas, maybe December 1st or just after Thanksgiving, somewhere in that time, it felt like it took forever for Christmas Day to come. And then I grew up, had kids, and it seemed like Christmas happened just like that. It was here almost before we could blink. We were back at Christmas. And now here we are, just days after Christmas again. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I hope it was a joyful time. And I hope you had some opportunity to just reflect on all the blessings that God has poured into our lives, your life this past year, now as we look over into a new year in just a few days. I was mindful of that time, how time seems to go so slow and then speeds up almost at an incredible rate of speed to where we can barely catch our breath. And I'm reminded of this passage. It's, in my mind, a Christmas passage. It's from the Apostle Paul writing to the church at Galatia. And he said this in Galatians 4, beginning in verse 4. When the time came to completion, God sent his son, born of a woman, born under the law, to redeem those under the law so that we might receive adoption as sons. And because you are sons, God sent the Spirit of his Son into our hearts, crying, Abba, Father. So you're no longer a slave, but a son. And if a son, then God has made you an heir. I just want to share just a couple of quick thoughts on that, to just say, when Jesus was born there in Bethlehem, Israel had been waiting on Messiah's arrival for so long. They had longed for this promised Messiah that God had promised all the way back in the book of Genesis chapter 3. And they waited and longed for. And then the Bible tells us here in Galatians chapter 4, when the time of completion had come, when time was completed, when the right moment came, God sent his son. God is never late. And maybe right now as you're listening to this video, because I recognize that small groups probably are not meeting this week, but maybe you're watching this as an individual and you're just doing some devotional time as you close out the year. And maybe you're waiting on something and it seems like you've been waiting a long time. I don't know what it is, and it doesn't really matter to me what it is. If it's something that's pressing on your heart and you're waiting for it, I know how anxious that time can be. But we're reminded here that God has a plan. And God, because he is never on time and he is always good, when the time came to completion, when it was the exact right moment, God sent his son. Can I just share this with you, what I believe is biblical truth, that when the timing is right for whatever it is you're longing for whatever it is you're waiting for, if it is God's will, when the timing is right, he will bring that into your life and you can trust him. What was the response to this? He says that this son God sent was born of a woman, born in the law, to redeem those in the law so that we might receive adoption as sons. And because you are sons, because we belong to him, because he is our father, he says, the Spirit of his Son in our hearts cries out, Abba, Daddy, Father. And because we are sons, we're no longer enslaved to sin or this world, but we are now an heir with God. What an incredible promise. As I reflect back on Christmas just a day or so ago, as I think ahead into a new year, there are things I'm waiting for. There are things that I would love to see God move quickly on, not just in my own personal life, but in the life of our church and our locations. But God's timing is best. And when the time of completion is right, God will bring forth that promise into our hearts. So whatever it is you're waiting for this week, as you kind of reflect on this passage and you reflect on the year past and you reflect on just the celebrations, the worship that we had experiencing Christmas, why don't you just stop and thank him for the promises made and knowing that when the right time is, when time has been completed, you know you can already trust that God will keep his promise. And he will birth into your life, into the life of your family, into the life of our church, exactly what we need, exactly when we need it. Hope you have a wonderful week. Many of you probably are enjoying some time off. If you're not, I pray that you would spend some time just reflecting back on the blessings of this past year as we look now at 2023 and all that God has for us ahead. Can't wait to spend next year with you here at More as we continue to dig deeper after Sunday services. God bless. Have a great day.